Hi, welcome to T1 Academy. In our last session, we started discussing about the percentage. So today we will see some more concepts from this percentage which are very important for most of the competitive examinations. Okay, so today we are going to discuss about the effective percentage. This is very important not only in percentages perspective but also later we will see a concept called profit and loss. So we will apply this effective percentage concept in that profit and loss. So we are going to see some of these percentage things, right? Now, we will see what is this effective percentage or change in the percentage. For example, if there is a value, if it changes for multiple times in the sense, if it changes, for example, I have 100 rupees VP, okay, if it changes by 20% once, so what is its value? Now it becomes 120 and next once again it changes by 10%. Once again it changes by 10%. So what is 10% of 120? It is 12. So when you add it, what it becomes? 132. Effectively, the value which I have from 100, it became to 132. From 100, it came down to 132. That means what is the effective increase in the percentage? It is 32%. Actually seeing, it was successively increased by 20% once and 10% once. But effectively, the overall percentage which was given for us was 32%. So keeping that thing in our mind, see, each and every time we are not going to do these type of things. Why? Because later if one more percentage it is increased by another value. So what we are going to do and how we are going to do? For this we have two methods. Okay, one is the conventional method or using a formula and the other one is a shortcut method. Now we will see both the methods, how the things will work for us. Now see here, any value if it changes by X% and Y% successively, X% and Y% successively, then the effective change in the percentage becomes for me X plus Y plus XY by 100. The effective change in the percentage becomes here X plus Y plus XY by 100. Now what is this X and what is this Y? Means depending on the situation. For example, if a value increases, then I will take it as a positive value. For example, if a value decreases, then I will take it as a negative value. Okay, if the change is positive, I will take it as a positive value. If the change is negative, I will take it as a negative value. And finally, after solving this also, sometimes we will get the answers in two ways. One is a positive answer and the other one is a negative answer. Positive answer means, that means effective percentage, I will get here a positive value. If I get a positive value, that indicates as an increment. Or in some cases, especially in the case of profit and loss, we call that as profit. And similarly, if I get my effective percentage a negative value. In this case, what I will do is, the change is in decrease. Okay, the overall change is a decrease. If it is in the case of profit and loss, I will say that I occurred loss in this case. Then where we will see this positive and negative values means, please see here. For example, if an article price was increased by, okay, if an article price was initially increased by 30% and then the shopkeeper given a discount of 10%. That means what? 30% increment and 10% decrement. In this case, what is actual effective percentage formula? I have X plus Y plus XY by 100, right? So here in this case, as I have already told you, if it is an increase, I will take it as a positive value. That means I am going to take X as 30 or plus 30. When it comes to Y, this is a decrease, right? So in the case of decrement, I will take it in a negative value. So what I am going to get here? Minus 10, right? So now what happens to my effective percentage? 30 plus of minus 10 means it becomes minus 10 plus 30 into minus 10 by 100. 30 into minus 10 by 100. So what happens to this now? 30 minus 10, it becomes 20. Minus into plus, minus, and 2 zeros will get cancelled, minus 3. So what happens here for me? 17%. That means the overall change in the price is 17%. Or the shopkeeper will get a profit of 17%. In general, if we are speaking about profit and loss, we will say that the shopkeeper will get a profit of 17%. So see, please observe here. Here which type of value we got? A positive value. Positive value means increase in the value or profit. For example, if I get a negative value here, that indicates me a loss or decrease in the value. Okay, this is the traditional method or the conventional method. Okay, well and good. Here see, what is the difference between the traditional method and the shortcut method is simple thing. In the traditional, if the value changes for 2 times, more or less our traditional method and shortcut method will consume us the same time. But if the change is for 3 times or 4 times, then how we are going to solve this type of problems? Now see here the same problem, how I am going to take is 30% increment, right? In our last sessions, we have already seen how we are going to write this 30%. We are going to write this 30% as 3 by 10. We are going to write this one as 3 by 10. So when it comes to my initial and final, so initial value what I am going to take here? 10. If it is increase, what I will do? 10 plus 3 and I will write this as 13, which we have done in our previous sessions already. Okay, next this is increase. Next I have given a discount, the shopkeeper have given us a discount of 10%. 10% means minus 10. So when I write it in the form of fraction, I will write that as 1 by 10. So what will be my initial value? 10. When it comes to my final value, what I am going to do? If it is a decremental, I need to subtract it from 10. So this value becomes what for me here? 9. Right? So now, as I already told you, if the value of a single same quantity changes for multiple times, usually we need to multiply them. The same article price was changed for multiple times, right? So 10 tens, what it becomes? 100. 13 nines, what is 13 nines? 117. 13 nines is 117 for me. So now if you observe carefully, my actual investment now it becomes 100, but in return I got 117. In return I got 117. So what is the difference here I have? I have a difference of 17. And what is the actual value for me? 100 into 100%. So 100 is going to get cancelled and we will be left with 17%. See here the same answer here and here. So what is the difference is, as I have already told you, if the value changes for 2 times, more or less both the methods will consume the same time. But for example, if a value of a thing changes for 3 times or 4 times, for example, we will see a value of a product increased by 10%, 20% and 30% successively. What is the overall change in the price of that product? Okay, this is my question here. If I want to solve this in the traditional method or with the formula, usually what I need to do is, first of all, I need to find the effective percentage between these 2 values and I will get a value, right? I will get some value, assume it as some x. Then after getting that value, once again I need to find the effective percentage between this x and that 30. Okay, definitely it will take more time. For example, if I go with my shortcut method, then what happens there means at once 10% means usually what you are going to write that as 1 by 10. So initial, final, what you will get here? 10 and 11. Why? Because all the 3 values are increasing here. Next 20%. 20% means what you will write? You will write that as 1 by 5. So 5 and 6. Next it is 30%. 30%, how you are going to write that as 3 by 10. Okay, so what happens to this for me? Initial it will become 10 and final it becomes 13. All are increasing only 10%, 20% and 30%. That is the reason I am adding here. So now when I multiply this, what I will get here? 10 5s are 50, 50 10s are 500. Next 11 6s are 66, 66 13s are 660 plus 198. I will get some 660 plus 198, we are going to get here 858. So that means from 500 my value was changed to 858. So what is the increase in the price for me here? 358. And what is the actual value for me here? 500 into 100%. 2 zeros will get cancelled for me. So now what I will be left here? 71.6. So the increase in the price is 71.6%. So this is the reason I am telling what is the advantage between the shortcut method and the traditional method is, if there are 3 times or 4 times increment in a value, then we can go with our shortcut method. Or if the value changes for 2 times, definitely we will go with this value. So students, both are very, very important, and this percentage, especially this formula, is very, very important for us in the case of profit and loss. Why? Because there we are going to see market price based questions. Definitely we will apply this same technique there. Okay, so we will see the questions now based on this concept, how we need to answer. Next, see here, a number is increased by 10% and then it is decreased by 10%. Find the net increase or decrease in the percentage. Find the netting. So we will see both the methods initially, and then we will see the shortcut method also. So first it is x. What is the effective percentage formula we have? X plus y plus xy by 100. So increase means plus, decrease means minus, plus 10 into minus 10 by 100. Understood? I have taken x as plus 10 and y as minus 10 here. So plus 10 minus 10 will get cancelled, 2 zeros will get cancelled. I will be left with here minus 1. Minus 1 indicates decrease. So I will say that 1% decrease. I will say my answer as 1% decrease. Now the same thing with shortcut method. 10% means what? 1 by 10. Initial and final. First it is 10% increase. So 10 and 11. Good, superb. Next 10% decrease. So as usual 1 by 10. So initial it becomes 10 and final becomes 9. Why? Because that is decrease. So 10 minus 1. So now 10 tens are 100. 11 nines are 99. So increase or decrease? Decrease. Decrease by what value? 1. And what is the actual value here for me? 100. 1 by 100 into 100. So what I am going to get here as 1% decrease. 1% decrease. So whether you go with the formula or go with the shortcut method, you will get the same answer. It is up to you. Choose the best one for you. Okay, next one. Now see here, when the price of the pressure cooker was increased by 15%, okay, the sales of the pressure cooker decreased by 15%. What was the net effect on the change? Now see here, net effect in the sense here, how we usually calculate our revenue. Usually we calculate our revenue by the price into number of articles sold, right? Usually our revenue, how we will see? Revenue, how we will calculate? Or the amount which we get in returns, price into number of articles sold, right? Based on this concept only, right? So more or less, instead of following this technique, we will see this one with our simple shortcut method. Very effectively we will get our answer. Now we will see what happens to my price and number of articles sold, initial and final. Now when it comes to the price, what happened to the price of the pressure cooker? It is increased by 15%, right? So price, what is happened to my price? It is increased by 15%, right? So I will take up arrow, increase, incremental. 15% in the sense, how I can write this as? Don't worry, if you don't know, write it as 15 by 100. Further it get cancelled with 3 by 20. Don't be get confused. So initial and final. So my initial value here becomes 20. As this is increment, so 20 plus 3 it becomes what? 23 for my final. Next, when it comes to the sales or the number of articles sold, sales decreased by what percentage? 15%. The same 15%. That means what you will write here? 15 by 100. So 3 by 20 we will get. So initial value becomes 20 and my final value becomes here 17. Why? Because decrease. Why? Because it is decreased. Now when it comes to the amount or the revenue, usually how we will find the revenue? We will multiply the price with sales. So simply multiply these two things. What will happen to these two things? 20 20s are 400, 23 17s are 340 plus 51, what you will get? 391, right? 340 plus 51, 391. So there is an increase or decrease in the value? Definitely decrease. So how much it got decreased? It is decreased by 9. So what you will write? 9 by 400 into 100%. The difference between these two is 9. So I am taking that 9. Decrease, and the value decreases, or my revenue decreases by, so 2 zeros get cancels. 9 by 4 means what you will get here? 2.25%. 2.25. So when the net effect on the sales is how much? It is decreased by, the sales got decreased by 2.25%. 0.25 percentage. Okay, not the net effect on the sales. Actually speaking, it should be net effect on the revenue. Why? Because already the effect on the sales was given. Due to increase in the price, the sales came down by 15 percentage. So what is the net effect in the revenue? The net effect on the revenue is get decreased by 2.25 percentage. 2.25 percentage. So with the help of this shortcut method or this understanding, we will get the answers very easily and quickly. Okay, please try to observe these type of things. Next one. See here, more or less the same thing. The length and breadth of the rectangle are increased by 20% and 30% respectively. By how much percentage the area of the rectangle increases? Now see here, what is the formula for area do we have? Area of a rectangle, length into breadth, right? This is more or less similar to our last problem only. Okay, so length into breadth. So here both the length and breadth both got increased. Now we will see initial and final. What happened to my length? Length increases by 20%. Okay, so 20%, what I can write? 20% is 1 by 5. So initial value becomes 5. Increased or decreased? Increased. So 5 plus 1, it becomes what? 6. When it comes to breadth, breadth also got increased by what value? 30%. 30%. So 30% we can write this as 3 by 10. 3 by 10. So initial value becomes 10 and final value becomes 13. Usually how we will calculate our area? Area is nothing but length into breadth. That means you need to multiply these two things here. Okay. So 5 tens are 50, 6 13s are what you are going to get? 78. 78. So that means what is the actual value? 50. After increment it became how much? 78. So what is the increase in the value do I have here? 28. Okay. So 28 by actual value is 50 or the initial value is 50 into 100. 28 by 50 into 100, 51s, 52s. So this value becomes what for me here? 56% increase. So if the length is increased by 20% and breadth is increased by 30%, my overall area will be increased by 56%. 56%. So by using this technique you will get the answers very quickly and effectively. Okay, so please observe these things. Next one. The length of the rectangle is increased by 37.5% and breadth is decreased by 20%. Then find the percentage change in its area. Percentage change in its area. As usual, more or less the same problem, but there both are increased, but here one value got increased and another got decreased. We will see what will happen here. Initial, final. Length increases by what? 37.5%. 37.5, it is multiple of 12.5, it is a multiple of. So what I am going to write this as 37% as 3 by 8. 3 by 8. I can write 37% as 3 by 8. Okay, so my initial value here becomes 8 and final value becomes 11. Why? Because it is increased. Next, the breadth got decreased by 20%. 20% I will write that as 1 by 5. Okay, so initial value becomes 5 and final value becomes 4. Why? Because the breadth got decreased here. Right. How you will find the area? Length into breadth. So 8 5s are 40, 11 4s are 44. Whether the change is positive or negative, positive change. Why? Because it is increased. From 40, now it became 44. It is increased by what value? 4. What is the actual value? Initial value. Initial value means the actual value. So 4 by 40 into 100. 4 ones, 4 tens, 0 0 get cancelled and we will get here 10%. 10%. So increase by 10%. Increase by 10%. Increase by 10%. Next. The price of the sugar is increased by 16.23% and the consumption of family is decreased by 25%. Find a change in expenditure. See, more or less the same concept. See, usually how we calculate the expenditure, the price of a product into our consumption. For example, if the sugar price is some 20 rupees per kg and if you consume 5 kgs per month, what is the amount which you spend on sugar? 20 into 500, right? That means what you have done, you have multiplied the price with the quantity. Price with the quantity. Now the same concept. Amount spent will become what usually for us? Amount spent will be equal to price into quantity. We know that price into quantity. Now we will see. Here, because of increase in the price, the consumption of family is decreased by 25%. Decreased by 25%. We will see what will happen here. Initial, final. When it comes to price, what happens to the price? Price is decreased by 16 2/3%. So if you observe my first session, in that session, first session of percentage, we have written what is this 16 2/3, what is this 12 and half, 14 2/7, all those things in our first session. So please once go through those sessions so that you will get an idea very quickly. Why we are writing 16 2/3 as 1/6, 1/6. So here initial value becomes 6 and final value becomes what for me is 7, right? This is the case of price. Why? Because price is increased. When it comes to the consumption, what has happened to the consumption? It is decreased by 25%. That means what? 25% is equal to 1/4. 25% is equal to 1/4. Initial value becomes 4 and final value becomes 3. The reason is it came down. The consumption was decreased. Now, how we will write the amount or the expenditure? Price into quantity. So 6 4s are 24, 7 3s are 21. Now what happened to the consumption or the expenditure? Whether it is increased or decreased? Decreased. And it decreased by what? 3. So percentage change. Here they didn't ask us whether it is increased or decreased. They simply asked us what percentage change was happened. So how much? 3 parts by actual value is 24 into 100. If you want, you can solve it. 4 6 are, you can write it else, or else if you are really good, we know already, we will write this as 24, 3 1s, 3 8s. So 100 by 8 means when 100 is divided into 8 parts, each part will become what? 12.5. So the percentage change is here 12.5. The percentage change is here 12.5. We don't have that option. This is 12.5%. So the percentage change is here 12.5%. Next one. The sales of a cinema ticket is increased by 57 1/7% and the price of the ticket is increased by 16 2/3%. Find the percentage change in the revenue. Okay. Here the price was increased as well as the number of tickets sold were also increased. So obviously we will get an increase in the revenue, but we need to calculate what amount of revenue is increased here. So same concept, right? How we will calculate the revenue? In case of ticket price of ticket into number of tickets sold, right? Price of ticket into number of tickets sold. So we will apply the same here also, initial and final. What happened to the price of the sale of the ticket is increased by what? 57. That means number of tickets sold. So sale is increased by 57 1/7%. Sale is increased by 57 1/7%. If you carefully observe this 57 1/7 is the multiple of 14 2/7. It is a multiple of 14 2/7. So this contains how many 14 2/7s is 4 17 2/7s. Sorry, 4 14 2/7. So this value will become actually 4/7. See students, if you were not able to identify it also, it doesn't matters a lot. Very simple. What we will do is 57 1/7 means what we are going to do? We need to find this one. We need to find the value. So what you will get here? 400/7. Mixed fraction. If you convert it into normal fraction, it becomes what? 400/7 by 100 by 100. 400/7 by 100. First what I have done? I have changed the mixed fraction into the PYQ form and then I am converting it into fractions by dividing it with 100. So now what happens? This one which in turn becomes for me 400 by, the 7 will come down, so it becomes 400/700. 2 zeros get cancelled and it will become 4/7. I have written 4/7 here directly. If you don't get the idea also, it doesn't matter for us. First of all, please know how we are converting the fraction, percentage to fraction means usually we divide the percentage with 100 to convert that into a fraction. I have done the same thing here. If you are able to identify it, it is really good. If not also, it doesn't make much difference. First of all, please convert that into fraction. What you will get? 4 by 7. It is increased or decreased? Increased. So, initial value is 7 and final value becomes what? 11 for me here. Why? Because 7 plus 4, it is 11. 7 plus 4, it is 11. Next, when it comes to the price, price increased by how much? 16 2 by 3. 16 2 by 3 means what? 1 by 6. 1 by 6, we already know. So, initial value is 6 and final value becomes what? 7 for me. Why? Because it is, this one is also increased. Now, how you will calculate the revenue? Price into number of tickets sold. So, simply multiply these two things. Right. So, what you are going to get? 7 6 are 42, 11 7s are 77. Whether it is increased or decreased? Definitely increased. Increased by what? 35. And what is the actual value? 42. How I have written this 35? 77 minus 42. Please observe. Okay. Into 100. So, in 7 table, 7 5s are, 7 6 are. Okay. So, if you want, you can write it as 500 by 6, which in turn becomes what for me here? 83 2 by 3 percentage. 83 2 by 3 percentage. Sorry, there is a small change here. 83 2 by 3 percentage. So, the change in the revenue is here 83 2 by 3 percentage. 83 2 by 3 percentage. Next one. The population of a town increases by 6 2 by 3% every year. If its present population is 33750, then after 2 years how much it will be? After 3 years how much it will be? See here students, this is nothing but the value is increased by 2 times. First it will be increased by 16 2 by 3 percentage, and then next once again it will be increased by 16 2 by 3 percentage. The price will get increased by 2 times. The price gets increased by 2 times, 6 2 by 3 percentage and 6 2 by 3 percentage. So, as I already told you, you can do it with effective percentage or the simple shortcut method which we have. So, 6 2 by 3 percentage. First of all, 6 2 by 3 percentage means what? Actually it is 20 by 3. Okay, if you write it in the normal form, it becomes what? 20 by 3. So, initial, final. So, when it is first increased by how much? 20 by 3 percentage. This is percentage, please be careful. 20 by 3 percentage means what? In turn it becomes 20 by 3 whole by 100. Okay, so this one value will become 20 by 300. This value is 1 by 15. 1 by 15 is the actual value for us here. Fraction, the percentage of 25 by 53, 20 by 3 is 1 by 15. So, initial value becomes 15 for me here and final value becomes 16. The reason is it is increased. It got increased. Next, similarly, in the second time also it got increased by same percentage, right? Same percentage, which in turn becomes 1 by 15. Once again it got increased. So, 15 and 16. As I have already told you, if the value increases, the same value increases for multiple times, what we are going to do? We are going to multiply them. So, 15 15s are what it becomes? 225. 16 16s are what it becomes? 256. Whether it is increased or decreased? Increased. Increased by what value? Increased by 31. Increased by 31. So, percentage 31. Increased by 31. Okay, we will see that one. Now, if its a present population is 33750. Present population, what is present population for us here? 225. So, that means this question is little bit different, more or less the same thing, but at the end the application changes here. So, present population is what? 225 parts. That will become how much according to the question? 33750. Okay, good. 33750. But finally it will become how much? 256. We need to find what is this 256 is. For timing, assume it as some x and cross multiplied. X into 225 is equal to 256 into 33750. 256 into 33750. What you are going to get here in 25 table, 25 9s, 25 1s, and I will be left with 87. 3 times I will be left with 12, 5 times and 0. right? Next 9 table, 9 ones, 9 ones is 9, 5 0. So 256 into 150, 256 into 150. So please calculate it. 256 into 15, 0, 3, 8, 2, 12, 2, 5, 6 for me here, 0, 1, 4, 8, 3, 8, 4, 0, 0. So the population will become how much? 38,400. The population becomes 38,400 after 2 years. After 2 years. So if you follow this method, once again I am repeating, you will get the answers very easily and quickly. The only thing is you need to understand the concept. You need to understand the concept, then it becomes easy. Else if we go with our traditional method of keep on adding the things, definitely it will take a lot of time. Usually what the people will do is, okay, in the first year it will become 106 2 by 3 times. Next year also it will become 106 2 by 3 times of x. This x is given, that is 33750. So usually what people will do is 106 2 by 3 into 106 2 by 3 percentage of 33750. Okay. This is the general or the traditional method, but if you understand this concept, it becomes definitely easy. So we are going to solve the problems by using this method. Next one. The population of a town is increased by 16 2 by 3% on the first year, and on the second year it once again it increases by 32.5%, but on third year it decreases by 57 1 by 7. Then find the percentage of population if the after the 3 years the population will become 1,65,000. Okay. So see here, please observe, here we have 3 times, the value is changed by 3 times. If we go with our traditional method, definitely it will waste our time. So we will go with the basic and easy method. Now see here, initial and final. What it is? First it is changed by 16 2 by 3 percentage. 16 2 by 3 means what for us? 1 by 6. 16 2 by 3 means what for us? 1 by 6. So initial value becomes what for us here? 6, and final value becomes 7. Why? Because it is increase. And second year it will once again increase by what? 37.5%. Which will be equal to what for us? 3 by 8. So initial value becomes 8 and final value becomes 11. That one is also good. When it comes to the third year, the value decreases by how much? 57 1 by 7%. Already we have seen the similar value. What it is? The multiples of 14 2 by 7. So what I will get here? 4 by 7. So initial value is 7 and final value is 3 here. The reason is it got decreased in the third year. The third year it got decreased. So now what happens for me here? 6 8s are 48, 48 7s are. What you are going to get? 48 7s, 56 and 336. Okay, so initial value becomes 336. And when it comes to final value, 77 3s are 48 and 7 times. Okay. 77 3s are what I will get here? 231. 231. So they given very clearly that after 3 years, the population is how much? 1,65,000. So that means the final value, this 231 parts is equal to how much? 1,65,000. But what they are asking us? They are asking us the present population. What is the present population we have here? 336. Assume it as some x. Simply cross multiply this. So what you are going to get here? 231 into x is equal to 336 into 1,65,000. So when you observe this one, 11, 21s are, this will get cancelled, and this 1,65,000 is 11 ones is 11, 5 times and 3 zeros. Okay. Next, in 7 table, 7 3s, 7 4s is 28 and 7 8s is 56. Next 3 1s are 3 16s are. So x value will become what? 15 16s are 240. and 3 zeros. So the present population is how much? 2,40,000. The present population is 2,40,000. So after 3 years it will become 1,65,000. 1,65,000. In this way we will solve the problems. If we solve the same thing using the traditional method, definitely I am assuring you it will take more time. Okay, next one. In an examination, A got 25 marks more than B, B got 10% marks less than C, and C got 25% marks more than D. D got 320 out of 500, then how many marks does A get? Okay, then how many marks does A get here? That is our question. Now please see here, this one is also more or less like a chain, right? So if we solve it in any other method, definitely it will waste our time a lot. But we can come in reverse order. C got how much? 25 marks more than D, right? So usually D got how much for me here? 320. 320. So C will get how much? 25% more means usually what I can say? 125% of D. C gets how much? 125% of D. Why? Because he is getting 25% marks more than D. 125% means what? 5 by 4 of 320. 5 by 4 of 320. So it becomes what for me here? So 80. 5 8 is 400. So C will get how much marks here? Okay. Next B gets 10% marks less than C. That means B, what I can write here? 90% of C. B will get 90% of C. 90% what I can write it as? 9 by 10 into 400. Why? Because C got 400 marks here. 0, 0 will get cancelled and B score is how much here? 360 for us. Next, when it comes to A. When it comes to A. Now what is A value you will get here? 25% more than B, right? So that means what? As usually 125% of B. So what you will write here? 125% of B means 5 by 4 times of 360. 5 by 4 times of 360, 4 ones are 4, 90s are. So what is the answer I will get here? 450. What is the answer I will get here? 450. But if you go on like this, definitely it will waste our time a lot. But if you are really good or if you do some practice, you can directly write in this manner. A score is, please observe here, we will come from D, right, in reverse order. C gets 125% of D. That means directly I will write this as 5 by 4 of 320. Okay, good, superb. Next, B gets how much? 90% of C, that means 9 by 10. Okay, next into A gets how much? 125%, right? So 5 by 4. So 5 by 4 into 9 by 10 into 5 by 4 of 320. 5 by 4 of 320. If you were able to write this line, then definitely you will save a lot of time. Okay, so now cancel it. What you are going to get? 5 ones, 5 twos. Okay, good. 4 4s are 16, 16 2s are 32, right? Here I will get what? 10 times. Next, 5 9s are 45, 45 10s are 450. So A score is how much? 450. So if you were able to write this equation, then your answer is done. Don't worry, this equation is written from this only. If you observe carefully, 5 by 4, 5 by 4, 9 by 10, 9 by 10, 5 by 4, 5 by 4. Okay? Like this, you need to solve the problems, right? With this, we have finished the questions based on effective percentage. Still, we have some other questions from the same concept called percentages. We will see them in our next session. Thank you.